All right, we're here at my Vermihut indoor worm bin, and it is the 9th feeding of this 3rd tray. And this tray is about 75 days old. And if you remember from previous videos, in between feedings, I'll typically come in here and aerate at least once, just kind of see how the food's doing, if the temperature is high, try and dissipate that temperature. But this time we fed right in the middle, and I have not touched it since. I've gone in and just looked at the top and see if they're on the newspaper, if they're eating the newspaper. So let's dive right in and see what we've got, especially right where this feeding is. And yeah, as expected, we just have a ton of worms right where that feeding was. So we'll just keep digging in here, and I expect I might see, yeah, more of the feeding intact, which is exactly what I'm seeing, and the cardboard, that kind of thing. So we'll just keep digging, and maybe I'm finding out here that I want to aerate in between, because it just seemed like they kind of got rid of more stuff. But lots of good worms all throughout here. So apologize for the dog barking in the background. But oh yeah, right here, just absolutely tons of worms, almost a worm ball right there. So that's fantastic. But yeah, we'll just keep aerating this out. Yeah, this is, they are surrounding something right here. This is pretty close to a worm ball, I'd say. They're just going in and out of and surrounding whatever's in there. So we'll just keep digging, and at the same time I'm aerating. And something else I'm gonna do differently. Wow, this is really a lot right here, and it's actually an apple core underneath all that. Maybe you can see that apple core right there. But yeah, that's just absolutely a ton of worms. Just squiggling around like crazy. So yeah, what I noticed is this bin, after these 75 days, is getting lower and lower and lower, almost like the volume is shrinking. And I mean, you can see here, there's just absolutely a ton of worms throughout this center section. So I guess what I've managed to do is kind of concentrate them right where the feeding is. So yeah, the bin has gotten lower, which means, you know, since I started with almost exclusively cardboard, shredded cardboard, that all that is getting broken down and the little spaces between are becoming smaller, so the whole volume is coming down. So what I'm gonna do differently this time is I am going to, after I'm done feeding, I'm gonna fill this almost to the brim with some of that shredded cardboard again, just to give them more bedding and to try and get the volume up before I feed, or I'm sorry, before I start another tray. So that's what the plan is. And like I said, it's been 7 days since we were in here last, and they haven't quite gotten all the food, so I may not feed them as much as normal, but you can just see tons of worms in here. In fact, I think I'll pause and just do a quick little time lapse so you can see them all squiggle down. All right, that should be long enough. So anyway, let's set up that feeding, and as we go through, if I see any big chunks of food, I'll put them in here, like these 3. Watch, I'll probably forget. But so I always kind of trench in the middle, or at least that's what I've been doing lately. It just makes it easy for me to show you all and film it, but also I always know where I've fed. So first of all, as always, we'll lay down some bedding. And again, this is mostly cardboard, shredded cardboard. There might be a piece of paper or two, or perhaps a piece of a paper towel, that kind of thing, but that's always what I add first. And then we'll go in with some food that is just our scraps from the last week. We'll add that in. And what I do with this is as we have kitchen scraps, vegetable waste, fruit waste, I will chop it up finely if I have time. If not, I'll just throw it into a Tupperware container. And we'll throw that in the freezer, and that kind of helps break it down physically just by the water expanding, breaking the cell walls. This is a tomato, which hopefully it's frozen solid. Hopefully it'll be able to get into. In fact, I think I'm gonna take one out because I'm not too keen on putting too many tomatoes in. Let me make sure the skin of this is broken so they've got an entryway into it. But yeah, so we'll add that into the Tupperware and then freeze it, and then when I need it, I usually try and pull it out a little bit before. And now we'll put in the coffee grounds. And then finally the pulverized eggshell. And then, as always, we'll cover it up. So if you like this video and want to see more, hit the like button. I appreciate it, and subscribe to my channel. That always helps me out. Helps me know what kind of videos you all like, what you want to see, and if there's something you want to see or something I'm not showing, please let me know in the comments. But what we're going to do now is add more and more of the shredded cardboard and try and fill this up. Now, I'm not going to add water. What I've found is that because this has a lid, the condensation builds up on that lid and keeps pretty much all the moisture from the feeding in here. And if there's way too much extra moisture and it comes out as liquid, it goes all the way down to the bottom, and there's a little basin that collects the liquid, which is the leachate. My goal is not to have any of that down there, but to kind of keep the moisture level at such an amount that there's no liquid down there, and that kind of tells me that got the WormBin at a decent moisture level. I think a wrung out sponge is what I hear the most as far as moisture level, and this felt fantastic. Everything fell apart, but yet was initially sticky and wet. So this should be interesting to see how they do with this shredded cardboard up here, and if it helps me with filling this bin a little bit more volume wise before I put the next level on. And I think also I'm not going to wait till it gets to mostly castings before I put the next level, because the worms definitely come up and down the levels and they'll be able to digest more. So I think I'm still going to add this newspaper back, and we will call this a feeding. So again, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and happy vermicomposting, everybody. Hope for everybody is starting a WormBin if they have any desire to, and learn by doing with me. Take care now.